Craig Revel Horwood is the infamous Strictly Come Dancing judge and choreographer.
We do see a great cook in Craig, somebody who has amazing potential. He has great palate.
Craig is a natural cook with a flamboyant streak that makes him prone to add one ingredient too many.
Beautifully cooked soft meat, all right, but garlic coming in between the cherry, unusual.
It doesn't need, you know, all the component parts are in there.
I'm a risk taker, and yeah, I tried something, you know, that didn't work last time, but this time I'm still not playing safe. This has become for me now a personal challenge.
What do you think is the most difficult part of the salad for you, Craig?
This bit.
The dressing.
Yeah, the dressing, because dressing makes a salad.
You're here because we reckon you are a very, very well flavouring cook. Is that for you what food's all about big flavours, do you think?
Food is absolutely only about flavours.
It is a competition, Craig. You're here to win it. Can you win it?
Yes, I think if I put my mind to it, I can win it.
I've got to go straight to this yolk because there is no avoiding it. It's shining on the top of your salad like a beacon. I think it was a dangerous thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. If you break it and mix it through, it's actually very, very nice.
I agree with you over the egg yolk. Sticky, lovely. Lovely, lovely texture.
The lettuce is crispy, the croutons are crispy and soggy in the centre. It is very, very strong, and I don't mind the bacon with us at all.
I put a raw egg yolk on my Caesar salad. I thought, well, you know, why not? that could have actually put me out, I think, you know, but in fact I think it might be an element that keeps me in.
Craig is just true to form. He still doesn't know when to leave alone. There was too much salt in there in the end, but the egg was a brave thing to do.
It did have lots of flavour and it was almost there, and it was probably better than both Sherry's and Matt's.
You do try and make things differently and try and, you know, experiment and be bold and be brave, and that's what I do.
For my mind right now, I think it's a fight between Sherry and Matt.
Three of you are cooking and one of you's going to get up in a minute and leave us.
We made our decision though.
Sherry, you're leaving us, I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well done, guys. You're still here. You got a chance to cook the wonderful dishes you've been practicing.
Now, you have got to cook extremely well, because we are still going to lose one more of you.
Cook like angels and you will be going through to that final.
You've had 30 minutes, guys.
The judges seem to think that I'm a little too floral, or I add too much and dress stuff up when I don't really need to.
If he's to win, Craig needs to produce some superb food without unnecessary extra flourishes.
What are you going to cook for us, Craig?
I'm cooking, to begin with, pan-fried scallops with bok choy, and then for the main, a pan-fried fillet steak, and this wonderful béarnaise sauce, and then I'm finishing with a chocolate mousse.
Here's the rub. You've moved away from the lunatic concoctions, we can see that. Mm-hmm. Have you gone too far the other way, and are you now too predictable and too simple?
I don't think so, no. I think it's bloody hard to make a béarnaise sauce well, and I think it's really difficult to cook a steak well, so no.
We do know that Craig is slightly eccentric. We look at the raw egg yolk on top of the Caesar salad. We really don't know what funny little touches he's going to add to those dishes. Who knows what he's up to?
Forgot the bloody mousse.
Craig is hoping to show he's simplified his style with seared scallops served on wok-fried bok choy.
I think that's a very, very elegant dish. I think that could be photographed for a magazine. Beautiful sweetness of that sublimely cooked scallop. And I've got the natural crunch and juiciness of the bok choy. And I think it's delicious, light and refreshing. It tastes every bit as good as it looks, and I applaud you.
Beautiful, sweet, lovely scallop. Just simply fantastic.
Wow. That's fabulous.
For his main, he's cooked fillet of beef with béarnaise sauce, butternut squash and beans.
Tell me the reason for the butternut squash being on there, Craig. Why?
I wanted to set the beef onto something, and I didn't want it to be just mashed potato. I just thought that might be too normal.
Beautifully rich, well-flavoured, well-seasoned, perfectly cooked piece of beef with delicious béarnaise, full of flavour, fantastic. And then I get this sort of weird, sweet sensation from the squash. And it's like, oh no!
There is no denying your cooking ability. No denying. It's a very, very good butternut squash. But with béarnaise, it's not right.
And for pudding, he's made a chocolate mousse with cream.
Great texture. Look at that. Beautiful. Soft but still firm. It's not falling off the spoon. You're such a lovely cook. Beautifully blended chocolate dessert with a great big splodge of cream on the top of it, and I want to snog it. I mean, it's just, it's just lovely.
It's chocolate mousse. It's very good chocolate mousse. You can put it in a pack and you can sell it. All the things you're doing, the way you cook is really good, and then every so often you go, oh no, come on then, let's just challenge myself and I'll put something weird on a plate.
Okay, I went a little floral with the main course, but that can be sorted, I think, and I'm learning every day.
Craig's cooking is changing so very, very, very fast. The scallop and the bok choy, without any silly little frills all over it, perfectly cooked, perfectly delivered. Chocolate mousse, the same. A perfectly cooked piece of beef, fillet steak, and a gross, sweet butternut squash.
4/5 of the plate was taken up by it.
It seems I shot myself in the foot, obviously, with the butternut squash. Sometimes I need to think a little bit more, I think, about my combinations.
But he has cooked well, he has calmed down, he is actually trying to control his nerve.
I think he's probably the most natural cook out of the three. Our first semi-finalist is Craig.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Fantastic. I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled and delighted. I'm going to fight to win, absolutely. You know, there's a lot more at stake now. May the best man win.
Craig and Midge will be back on Monday for the semi-finals, where they'll battle it out with Nadia and Emma for the title of Celebrity Masterchef.
I'm feeling absolutely fantastic about getting through to the semi-final.
And Craig Revel Horwood is the Strictly Come Dancing judge and choreographer.
My nerves tend to get the better of me, but I'm hoping that I'll overcome that and be a winner.
Welcome back to the Celebrity Masterchef studio. You are our final four.
We are going to ask you, with the set of ingredients you have, to produce for us a pasta dish which must be served 8 times. Do think about what you're going to do and the time that you have to do it in.
Off you go.
Choreographer Craig is the least experienced cook, but he's impressed with his natural talent.
Beautiful, sweet, lovely scallop. Just simply fantastic.
Wow.
However, his nerves can cause him to panic and overcomplicate his dishes.
There is no denying your cooking ability. It's a very, very good butternut squash. But with béarnaise, it's not right.
Craig, there is something missing here today.
What's that?
There is no absolute ridiculous amount of things being flown around the bench. Has something happened to you?
Yes, I've learned to control my nerves a little bit more, so I'm hoping it's all going to turn out and look great.
Believe it or not.
Craig's cooked spaghetti with clams in a white wine and cream sauce. But has he managed 8 consistent plates of pasta?
Some of our guests are going to get a much bigger helping of shellfish than some others.
It is tasty. The cream sauce is lovely and smooth and velvety and rich. There is the taste of the clams, which is fantastic. I think you should be very, very proud of yourself.
I'm feeling fantastic, actually. Really, really chuffed.
Craig, really, really pleased with Craig. He is growing as a cook. Impressive.
Today, you'll be cooking for 30 cadets.
Craig has a constant battle with his nerves, and today they'll be tested like never before, cooking 30 portions of cottage pie, followed by 30 portions of rhubarb fool.
I'm slightly concerned now about rhubarb because I love it, but I suspect the children might think it's a little bit.
Craig, cottage pie, followed by rhubarb fool. Cottage pie, great idea.
Rhubarb full? What do you think, it's a dinner party? He's in a tent with cadets.
Oh, this is going to take forever.
The conditions are worse than I had anticipated. I didn't think it would be as rough. I thought it'd be in a catering hall or something like that. I had no idea really that we're going to be in luxury accommodation like this.
There's only 4 rings and 1 oven between us two.
And we all have stuff to
now
cook
that
on
means
that.
there's 1 hot plate for each of us, which is absolutely ludicrous.
The faulty cooker is the least of Craig's problems. He's underestimated what it takes to whip 8 pints of cream by hand.
Oh dear, come on. Well, I tried this with a big whisk and it worked very, very well. And I thought, oh, that doesn't take that long. But doing 10 ton of it, I need a bigger whisk.
And his cottage pie has taken a back seat.
Where's your mince, Craig?
It's still raw there because I've got to get the potatoes on.
Okay. Craig's timing's completely shot. I think he's not going to get his menus out. I think he's going to have some really disappointed cadets. His main course isn't even on the stove as yet, and he's faffing around with cream. Okay, guys, got an hour left. No! Okay, an hour.
Craig, however, still doesn't need the oven, as his cottage pie isn't nearly ready.
Craig, okay, you got another half an hour before the bugle sounds. At the moment, you've got things all over the place, okay?
Yes, sir.
Emma lends a hand with Craig's rhubarb fool.
Whoa.
I love you, love.
Love you too.
Craig, you've been whisking that for half an hour. Emma's been on that for 5 minutes. Look at the result.
Time is almost up, and Craig is still struggling with his rhubarb fool.
Craig, what are these frozen peas doing here?
Well, I can't mix this mixture with this mixture unless that mixture's colder. So I had a spare bag of frozen peas. Yeah. And that's to cool it down.
It's improvisation, isn't it? It is. Yeah, and that's what it's all about.
Craig, there's a fire. Where? In this oven.
Oh, cider!
Whoa! You are so manly!
There we go.
But Craig has spent so long making his rhubarb fool that he's missed a slot in the one working oven and is only now putting in his cottage pie. Craig's cottage pie. Whose dish is the most popular?
5 cottage pies and 3 macaroni bakes.
Oh my God!
But Craig's cottage pie hasn't got a good reception.
5 orders for this.
Here, there's 2.
Gorgeous pie.
While Craig is pinning his hopes on his rhubarb fool.
And rhubarb full, 0. Let's get those puddings out, guys. Come on.
And Craig's attempt to wow the army cadets with rhubarb fool remains untasted.
Devastated. All the work that went into that, but you know what? It was a bad idea. Conceptually dreadful.
Craig didn't really know his audience at all, did he?
I have absolutely no experience whatsoever feeding children, so another learning curve.
The rhubarb fall, that was just a very, very silly idea, and obviously it didn't sell any.
Absolutely competitive, and I am here to win.
It's the last semi-final. The MasterChef journey will soon be over for one of the final 4 celebrities. Craig Revel Horwood is the infamous Strictly Come Dancing judge and choreographer.
I'm feeling really nervous actually about today. I think it's going to be the biggest challenge I've had to face to date. I'd be gutted if I didn't get through to the final.
Craig is the least experienced cook, but throughout the competition his flamboyant approach and natural instincts have helped him create some delicious food, like his spaghetti bolognese.
It's well flavoured, it's well seasoned, it's rich with red wine. I have great hope for you.
Although his nerves have been a major cause for concern, and at the Army Cadets, under the strain of catering en masse, his food suffered.
Where's your mince?
It's still raw there because I've got to get the potatoes on.
We've seen him collapse. If he can hold his nerve, if he can pack flavour into his food, then he's going to be absolutely fine.
There's no room really for error, so I really have to pull my head in and get on with it, to be honest.
Today he's risking it all with 2 classic dishes, oyster Rockefeller and lobster thermidor. And to add to the pressure, he's never attempted them before.
I think you have to risk everything in order to gain.
You're used to being a critic. What's it like being the other side of the fence?
It's hideous. I absolutely hate it. I have to say I feel sort of all over the place, but...
I can't believe this is the sort of food that you're cooking every day, Craig.
No, it's not. It's food that I thought belongs in a restaurant, and I thought it would be food that critics could have a good go at, you know?
Have you dared to consider that you may be leaving us after this?
No, I don't want that thought to pass my mind, you know, because I want to get through, and in order to stay in, I need to excel.
He's a very, very brave boy. That sounds great. He's got the oysters sitting in the spinach mixed with Pernod and oyster water. That's a lovely dish.
Lobster thermidor, great idea. Done well, fantastic. But every restaurant critic will have their opinion about what is right in a lobster thermidor and what is not right in a lobster thermidor.
The shakes are back, Craig.
Love it, love it, love it. I do my best work when I'm shaking.
Craig's pushing the boat out with an ambitious menu of well-established classics that he's never attempted before.
Are you know we've got 2 minutes, are we here?
No, we're not.
How long in there now?
I just need 1 more minute in there.
We're going to be a couple of minutes late, aren't we? Because if there's another minute in the oven, you won't get them all plated in a minute.
Come on.
If they're not ready, serve them late. So look, give me another minute, guys. We'll be there in a sec.
Hello. Apologies, your starter is going to be 1 minute late.
We're withering away here.
Craig needs to keep it together or risk jeopardising his chances.
My hands are so shaky. Come on. Come on. Okay.
Finally, the critics get their oysters Rockefeller. Baked oysters with spinach, Pernod and Parmesan cheese.
They look like goose droppings and not very nice at all. This is a cooked oyster, which in my view is often an abomination anyhow, under a slurry of spinach, which is unpleasantly sweet.
It's just various different types of snot, really, isn't it?
This one, on time. Make it up, young man.
I will, sir.
Unaware of the critics' scathing comments, Craig's on to his second course.
You got 4 minutes to stick with your normal schedule, okay? 4 minutes, which means you're going to get sauce over the top, in the oven, and coloured, and ready to go, all done.
Right there. Right. Okay,
Craig now needs his classic lobster thermidor to meet the critics' high expectations.
This is a version of lobster thermidor.
The sauce is a bit thin, but it's a hell of a lot better than the oysters.
It really is, yeah.
And the lobster seems to be cooked all right.
The bottom line is his bechamel was not thick enough. But it's very eatable. The lobster itself has not been killed in the cooking process, which is easy to do if you don't know what you're doing.
I think I pulled it off. If I didn't, I'll be really sad, I have to say, because I put a lot of me, a lot of my heart, a lot of my effort into this competition.
We went to Craig.
This is someone who's trying to do something interesting and hasn't quite got the technical capabilities to bring it off.
Craig needs a bit of direction, a bit of tutoring about food, but obviously his instincts are there.
Making a bechamel to go on lobster thermidor and then mixing it and getting it all right, getting it all back, and that takes real technical skill.
I mean, it looks like a very simple dish, you know, a bit of lobster cut up and a bit of a sauce over the top, but I mean, if you make the sauce properly from scratch, it's difficult.
Let's talk about Craig. I don't agree with the critics. I think Craig's cooked oyster was lovely. I think the flavours were very, very well thought out. Craig has one very, very small problem, and that is his ability to stop shaking. That nervousness is about confidence, and I think that if he just gets his nerve under control, he will be absolutely fantastic. He is developing faster than any of them. The guy is a contender, absolutely, and should not be going home right now. It is tough, it's competition, and the fact is we were going to lose one of you today. And our person going home is Emma.
We've come a long, long way to
Thank you.
Very
good. Thrilled and delighted to get through to the final. I mean, that really is something. Cheers.
Nadia, Midge and Craig will be back tomorrow to begin the finals. By the end of this week, one of them will be crowned Celebrity Masterchef.
I literally am thinking about food 24/7.
Chef finals, and only the 3 best cooks remain. Craig Revel Horwood is the infamous Strictly Come Dancing judge and choreographer.
I can win this competition. I want to win this competition. And I'd be very disappointed if I don't.
And at this stage of the competition, everything counts, because on Friday, only one can be named Celebrity Masterchef. Craig is impressed with his natural palate and likes to challenge himself as much as he can.
I thought that frightened me, but somehow or other, Craig, it looks like you might have pulled it off.
But he has a tendency to panic and then adds too many elements to his dishes.
It doesn't need, you know, all the component parts are in there, and I don't think you need to work as hard as you do.
Every day brings about a new set of standards that we have to, you know, climb to. And I would like to take it just that one step further and win.
Craig, please tell me your nervous hands haven't started shaking already.
They're a little bit shaky.
You understand the words technique, elegance and precision.
That's right.
Is your food going to be able to come up to that level?
In presentation, that's what I'm good at. How I achieve it is certainly not.
Craig's made his tart with a crème anglaise, but he's also decided to add a Grand Marnier coulis.
Together, it's all a little bit confused. The crème anglaise has lots of vanilla in it, beautifully fragrant flavouring, and the sharpness of a coulis slaughters it. The pastry's good, it's really crumbly and buttery. The filling is soft and moussey, but why go to all the work of the pastry, the filling, the crème anglaise, for it to be confused by alcohol and berries?
I need to learn to just leave well enough alone. The chocolate tart would have stood well enough by itself, and I should have respected that, and I didn't.
Well done. Off you go.
Just like when you're told off school.
It's all when you're a kid.
Oh, it's what you just say that.
You've got to admire Craig's planning today. He got everything bang on time. He got his pastry absolutely right. But why do we suddenly see a pile of berries, a raspberry coulis, all sorts of bits all over the plate? He's just got to trust in the fact of a simple, elegant, well-constructed dessert.
I've got to make sure that I remain cool, calm, collected and focused. And I think if I can do that, then I have an extremely good chance of winning.
Midge, Nadia and Craig are about to face their most difficult different level. They will have to cook the signature dishes of the 2 Michelin-starred restaurant, The Square.
Morning all.
Hi.
Working under The Square's recipes.
The chef's probably looking for...
Sorry.
It's driving me nuts.
If I don't smash my bones, I won't get my flavour.
Craig is doing the main course of beef with red wine jellies, truffle chantilly, field mushroom puree, and a hand-sculpted potato rosti.
Right, what am I doing?
He has 7 components to this dish, which all need time-consuming preparation.
Craig will go through the processes. It's serving up and plating up that many different things. We know how panicky he gets towards service.
Failure, time, pepper on, pink salt, cover with red wine and port.
Craig has battled with his nerves throughout the competition, and today he will need to keep cool under pressure.
I'm just sort of rushing in order to get to the roasty, because I really have never made it in that way before, and that could be my downfall, actually, the potato.
You've now had...
Craig has made his wine sauce reduction and is now making it into jelly by setting it in chilled olive oil.
Little poured balls like caviar. That's brilliant.
Now, Craig, you seem fairly relaxed.
I am at the moment.
Do you think that actually you're going to be okay during service? We see how precise this food is.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to hold your nerve today?
I have to. As long as I know where everything is, I think I'll be fine. I'm just going to try and keep really calm this time of service and not worry so much about it.
He now needs to tackle the potato rosties, which alone require 4 processes.
This is potato, if you can believe it. It's amazing, isn't it?
He must work the potato into fine shreds and hand sculpt elaborate bundles to be deep fried.
It's a nightmare. I've got to sort of do it quite quickly because I've still got to cook the meat though and everything. I'm slightly worried about that.
Yeah, for the timing issue. What you can...
Craig's main course is up next, but Nadia's delay has put him behind.
I put these on hoping that her serve was going to be on time. Normally she's very reliable, but obviously not today.
And with minutes to go, he's forgotten to make his truffle chantilly, a major element of his dish.
Fancy we getting the truffle involved.
I got carried away with everything else and forgot about this.
We're now overshooting. You need to just get focused.
Craig now has to plate all 7 components of his dish at once.
All the bits that you've made, for goodness sake, in a panic at the end, don't forget to put anything on. Steak, sauce off the heat, jellies, and go. Time is absolutely of the essence at this point. Try not to lose momentum. Just drag it through the cream. Service, let's go there, please.
Will Craig's dish of beef with red wine jellies Truffle chantilly, mushroom puree and potato rosti impress the chefs.
Just looking at it straight away you think it's out of balance because you've got a huge amount. I don't know what that puree is. The beef's just lost though, isn't it?
The potato is actually very much under seasoned. The steak is overcooked.
I mean, I like rare, but this is really cremated bad, horrible.
I think my beef's not incredibly overcooked. A little bit dry around the edges. Other than that, it wasn't a bad dish.
To extract the amount of flavour out of the sauce, he's done a good job there. With the potato, they've done very well, but lost it with the seasoning. So I think it's 95% the way there, and then just failed. It's almost like climbing Everest and forgetting the flag. He really has let himself down right at the very end.
Hello.
Hi, Craig.
Hello. Craig, your beef was severely overcooked. I mean, it was medium well. And even then, medium well, you can sometimes get a bit of juice out of it. This one had nothing. It was horrible. And as for the potatoes, I mean, you said you seasoned them, but you must have missed the pan, I tell you.
I deserve it, you know. I dish it out. I might as well get it back.
One thing that I thought let you down slightly, which is the smallest part of all of this, which is your seasoning. 5% focus on balance and flavour. Outstanding dish. It would have been a good dish to grace the table at the school. Very good.
Well, thank you.
Really good.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed in the reaction, to be honest. I mean, if I knew he wanted a rare steak, I would have gone and left it, you know, bleeding on the plate. How many people actually get an opportunity to actually cook for the best chefs in England, let alone UK, possibly the world? To come this far and then fail would be hideous. It would be a sense of achievement. It would show everyone that actually you can start from nothing and become something. You know, I did that as a dancer, and that's exactly the same here in the kitchen.
With a perfect dish.
I'm absolutely and completely up for this fight, this battle to the end.
Craig is a natural cook, a great palate.
Craig is a passionate cook who delivers food that's bursting with flavour.
It is tasty. The cream sauce is lovely and smooth and velvety and rich. I think you should be very, very proud of yourself.
But sometimes his chaotic approach leads him to add extra ingredients and he makes mistakes.
Why go to all the work of the pastry, the filling, the creme anglaise, for it to be confused by alcohol and berries?
He still has the tendency to fuss around with his food where it doesn't need it. He needs to learn classical simplicity. And he also needs to learn to calm down and work in a less messy environment.
To help, Craig is going to Via Condotti, a classic Italian restaurant, to learn that great food doesn't need dozens of components. Over at Via Condotti, Craig is learning about classic Italian country cooking. Chef Pasquale Amico starts with some clear rules to his kitchen to help Craig beat his nerves.
You need to be very organized. Don't panic. More you panic, the more I will put you on the panic. So you need to be nice and calm. You need to try to keep things simple.
Okay.
You know, because I know then you like things complicated.
I tend to put too many things on the plate.
No, you shouldn't, because, you know...
Italian cooking requires the skill of creating superb flavours from a few ingredients.
Yeah.
Pasquale shows him a classic dish, duck breast with black cabbage and a pomegranate sauce.
Just a simple dish that, you know, the simplicity of it. You don't need anything else.
Yeah, no, it looks beautiful.
If you can get the dish with the cooking and the presentation as this one, we'll be laughing, no? No?
I pray. Okay. He's just teaching me to be calm and to be organised and not to panic, you know, obviously. And that things only really need certain flavours. And when you taste it, it's bellissimo, darling.
At Via Condotti, Craig is also under pressure with a rush of orders.
2 duck medium rare, followed by 1 duck medium rare. Greg, 1 more duck on, yeah?
It's a bit of a rush now, because just because it's all coming at once. Too much, too much, too much. Salt, pepper.
The duck has to be cooked perfectly medium rare, and this pressure is setting his nerves on edge.
Are you shaking it because it's hot or because you are
nervous?
Why are you nervous?
in case it's overdone.
The knife, you are in control of the knife, not
Yeah,
the knife is in control of you, no?
yes.
So you don't need to shake.
With such an unsteady hand, Craig is finding plating close to impossible.
Well, I can't do it without shake too much.
Slowly. You need to shake less, yeah, because if not, you get the sauce all over the plate.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. I'll shake less, I promise.
Okay, one more duck is away. One more duck.
One
so
more
prepare
duck.
one more duck.
All I can say is the duck's very popular.
Sadly. A duck medium rare.
At Via Condotti, the orders are still coming in thick and fast. But Craig is determined to stay calm and make no mistakes. And his more focused approach is paying off.
I know that it has the sauce and stuff, but the duck itself is really, really succulent, really moist.
Craig's nerves are settling down and his plating is improving.
Fantastic. Very good. Beautiful. Okay. Much better now, no?
Yes, I'm
one bill and one duck and one bill. I think Greg today has done very well. If he keeps simple, I think he will really got a chance to win the competition. And I will be very proud if he wins.
I'm hoping that I can calm down. If I could do that and make my dishes simple, effective and tasty, then I think I've got a very, very good chance of winning the competition. I really want to aim for what I learned at the restaurant, which was simplicity. I'm going to be brave and keep it simple and not put too much on the plate. I'm in it for risking, you know, and if you don't risk, you don't achieve.
Craig, I think that I've never seen your bench A, so clear, and B, so sparse.
Yes, it's my new look, my new Italian country look.
What are you cooking for us, Craig?
I'm cooking duck breast. That's going to be on a bed of spinach. On the top of it, I'm making a sweet and sour sauce of grapefruit, which is an old Italian recipe, believe it or not.
Are you in a position where you can win this competition?
I think I'm in a very good position for winning this competition. I really love cooking, and that's why I'm here. And I know I get nervous, and the reason I get nervous is because I really do want to win, and I really do care about cooking.
The journey for him has been huge because it did start off all over the place. It is very simple. His urge, his want to do something else is his biggest worry. Can he control himself?
Craig wants to show he's capable of classic food with no extra flourishes in his dish of duck breast with grapefruit and orange sauce and buttery spinach.
Minimal's a word for it. It is very minimalistic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Too rare. It's pretty rare. Duck can do that as long as you slice it very, very thinly. When you've got big hunks like this, I mean, that's quite rare in there. The duck's slightly undercooked and slightly chewy, which is a shame. The first thing you get is very bitter grapefruit. And I thought, uh-oh. Then the rich duck comes in and it kicks in and it starts to soothe you a bit. Iron-rich spinach, well-seasoned. For something as simple as that, to actually get the flavour in there that you've got is really, really, really good indeed. Really good.
That was going to be a disaster, to be honest. Thought you were going to hate it.
You know, we don't have silly frills anymore. No. This is a huge change for you, and this is very brave. This is far too rare. Far, far too rare. The sharpness and sweetness of the grapefruit and then the richness and moisture of that duck is lovely. It's lovely, lovely, lovely.
I learned to be simple, direct, and so your food makes a point. And I think I achieved that today. In fact, I know I achieved that today, and that was a really good thing.
Craig knew he had to learn the art of simplicity in appearance, but big on flavour delivery. Well, he did it. Craig today attempted something which was completely outside his safety zone because it was so simple, but at the same time the process of that grapefruit sauce being sticky and bitter and sour and sweet was really clever. Slightly undercooked duck, but hey, I'm going to forgive that today. Have to.
I've learnt so many skills over the last couple of weeks. It's been fantastic. You know, if I can just put that all into one fantastic bundle, I'll achieve it and hopefully win the competition. I'm here to win this blasted competition. I'm not here to just, you know, whisk around and do twirls in the kitchen. It is the final. There is an enormous amount of pressure. A final challenge to what has been an absolutely amazing journey. If I can contain my nerves, I can win this. It would be amazing for me to get from literally the gutters of cooking to the upper echelons. I mean, how incredible would that be? Absolutely amazing. I am feeling extremely nervous today, and I was trying to not feel like that.
Craig's the least experienced and most nervous cook, but he has bags of natural talent and packs his dishes full of flavour.
Beautiful, sweet, lovely scallop, just simply fantastic.
Wow.
Oh! But he can put himself under extreme pressure, leading him to panic. Oh! And overcomplicate his dishes.
Why go to all the work of the pastry, the filling, the creme anglaise, for it to be confused by alcohol and berries? He gets really, really nervous about the end product, and that's also why he adds that little bit of extra that he doesn't need. Will he be able to leave those plates alone and just deliver great food?
I just find that when I come here and they say your time starts now, that I just suddenly go into this panic. If I let that happen, that will be my downfall and will lose me the competition.
Will Craig overcome his nerves today and produce uncomplicated and delicious food? His first course is a prawn tart, then venison with a pink peppercorn sauce, cavallonero and dauphinoise potatoes, and finally a white and dark chocolate mousse.
What are you trying to show us today?
I'm trying to prove to you guys that actually I can do pastry, that I can actually do good timings, that I can be simple, trying to combine everything that I've learnt in sort of 3 courses, really.
How are your nerves right now?
Sort of shaky, because everything's at stake, you know? You either win or lose now. That's it. No second opportunities.
Craig's menu is nice and he is calming down like he said he was going to. Lots of risky things. Dauphinoise doesn't work. The cabbage can be chewy. But the chocolate pudding, you know me and chocolate. Gorgeous.
Are we going to get these 3 lovely courses out?
Yes, yes, yes.
Craig's nerves have returned. At this critical moment, will they cause him to make a mistake?
I think it's going to be a tough one to actually judge. I'm glad I'm not judging it.
Have Craig's nerves sabotaged his chances, or will his natural talent shine through? He's starting with a spinach, prawn and cheese short crust tart.
We had the sweats, the shakes, the red face, we had the lot, didn't we, there?
Yes.
Moist, creamy, full of prawn flavour, bit of chew on the prawn as well, but the delightful pastry that just flakes away and melts in your mouth. Very good. When I eat your food at its best like this, I realise that all those tears and the red face and the shakes weren't in vain. Very well done.
Thank you.
Amazingly, beautifully made, wonderful, crumbly pastry, seasoned, cooked perfectly, delicious, elegant, simple, fantastic. Fantastic.
Wow. Goose pimples.
You have just come such a huge way, haven't you?
Yeah, I have actually, and I can feel that in my cooking.
His main is pan-fried venison with pink peppercorn sauce, sautéed cavallonero and potato dauphinoise.
Look at that.
That's just stunning. Great dish, well thought out, beautiful simplicity. Textures are stunning. There's a lot of salt somewhere in here. Craig, it's too much salt.
Wonderful, wonderful Cavolo Nero, not too hard, not too soft. The venison is cooked absolutely perfectly, but we are left with that flavour of salt. Did you wash your pink peppercorns?
They were in brine.
Did you wash them?
Well, I didn't wash them as such. I put them out and strained them. Salt water.
Craig now needs his white and dark chocolate mousse to bowl the judges over.
That's one seriously rich chocolate mousse, isn't it? It's not just the richness of that dark chocolate, but then there's also the huge richness of that white chocolate on top. And it's a serious, serious amount of dessert.
Creamy, soft, rich. Too rich, even for me.
I can only keep my fingers crossed that, you know, my journey up to this point has been good enough, you know, and that people see a future in my cooking.
I feel fantastic about all the positive comments that they said. I just feel a little bit of a failure because of the salt thing.
Watching Craig develop throughout this competition has been a joy. The difference in his food from the day he walked in here till now is just extraordinary.
We have to understand that he has pushed the boat out once more. He makes a crumbly, lovely pastry with his prawn tart. Wonderful filling, and when you eat it, it's delightful.
The main course, how brilliant did that look?
Venison cooked perfectly, black cabbage really, really well done, dauphinoise absolutely perfect, but
too salty.
It has been one of the best things I think I've ever done in my life, and one of the biggest challenges I've had to date in my life.
What an incredible competition. What an incredible journey. Not easy to pick a winner from you three. It's been a privilege, real privilege.
Celebrity Masterchef, Nadia.
Well done. Fantastic.
Really?
That's great. That's fantastic.
Really? Oh, guys. I'm so glad it was me that won.
Of course you are.
I can't complain. It's been a fantastic experience and I've loved every minute of it.